SoundHound AI has been making excellent progress in building the business and improving the balance sheet. The company's making progress across all fronts, not just revenue, but also improving the cash balance as well. I'm going to share with you all of these factors and why so many investors are talking about SoundHound AI stock right now. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. SoundHound AI made another acquisition, but a smaller one as well. Of course, you've probably heard of SoundHound AI's acquisition of Amelia, which was announced at the same time the company announced quarterly financial results on August 8th. But SoundHound AI also acquired Allset, which is the ordering platform through Allset enables them to build a voice commerce ecosystem, which is one of the third pillars or one of the three pillars that SoundHound AI is trying to build upon to grow the business. The acquisition will ultimately enable customers to use cutting-edge voice AI to order foods from their vehicles, their phones, and their smart devices. And one of the more exciting use cases for this is to order something from your favorite restaurant from your car on your way home. So imagine you're driving home from work and you want to pick up a burrito from your local restaurant. You speak into your car's voice system and you order from that restaurant, and it takes the payment all seamlessly, and then you just go to the restaurant and pick up your order. Now, that's a huge advantage from what you're able to do prior to this system, where if you're driving home from work and you want to order, you try to call in the restaurant. Most restaurants are not taking phone orders now, but even if they are taking your order over the phone, how would you make the payment while you're driving? You would have to take out your credit card if they don't have your payment information on file. It's just a whole messy process that could be seamlessly improved with this voice AI technology. Similarly, from your phones and smart devices, especially if you're at home and you're watching TV and you see a commercial for your favorite restaurant or a commercial for a restaurant and you're craving that and you want to order it, you can speak into your remote control and order from that restaurant to be delivered to your home, and it takes your payment because it already has all that information incorporated. And it's just so much more convenient than having to take out your phone, open the app, press a bunch of buttons, and do all of that while you're doing something else, right? So it's a big convenience advantage. And what we've learned from consumers over the last 5-6 years is that they are willing to pay for convenience. Consumers are willing to pay for convenience, even though some investors might feel like, I don't know if this service will get traction because it's so expensive, right? I'm speaking about maybe some things like Uber Eats and DoorDash, where they charge you so much money to have your food delivered from your favorite restaurant, but consumers have paid. And even though they raised prices, consumers keep paying because of that convenience. They're willing to pay for that convenience. And so SoundHound AI has a great opportunity here, and this acquisition of Allset will ultimately help the company facilitate that platform ecosystem. The company's revenue increased by 54% year over year, and that helped SoundHound AI meaningfully improve its balance sheet in the quarter, paying down their debt and completing the conversion of outstanding preferred equity. The company now has no debt and over $200 million in cash on the balance sheet. That strong balance sheet will allow the company to continue going forward until it reaches a level where it can sustain itself, self-sustaining, being cash flow neutral without losing so much money on the bottom line. Additionally, in the second quarter, their cumulative subscription and booking backlog roughly doubled year over year to $723 million, with the average duration of less than 7 years. So their contract length is roughly 7 years. And most of this expansion in the quarter was in the restaurant space, although they continue to gain traction with automotive partners. And then with the acquisition of Amelia, which I haven't talked about yet in this video, that will facilitate new verticals, new categories where SoundHound AI can grow. The restaurant and automotive categories have been great for SoundHound AI, the acquisition will help expand to new opportunities. When SoundHound AI acquired Sync3 earlier this year, it was an accelerant for their restaurant business. And then last quarter, when they announced the Allset acquisition, it was to catalyze their monetization pillar to connect voice-enabled services and products together. And today, when they announced the acquisition of Amelia on August 8th, that was about accelerating more broadly in Pillar 2, which is in customer service and expanding their industry reach, which is what I talked about earlier, right? They're strong in restaurants and automotive, but the acquisition of Amelia will allow them to enter new categories like insurance, financial services, etc., outside of just automotive and quick service restaurants. And I like that management discussed their acquisition strategy because they've made 3 big acquisitions in less than 2 years: Sync3, Amelia, and Allset. And so I'd like them to, explain what's their strategy for acquisitions. And they do a good job here. They ask themselves, does it fit with our long-term strategy? Will it amplify or accelerate our pathways to realize that strategy? And can we effectively operationalize it and drive meaningful synergies? And finally, can we buy it at the right price, right? Even the greatest thing makes a poor purchase if it's too expensive. Appreciating the risks that inherently come with such transactions. So I like that they're explaining that strategy and discussing the things they asked themselves before making the acquisition. What I would have liked to have seen in addition to these questions, them asking themselves, is can we do it ourselves at a lower cost instead of going out and buying it? Can we replicate what they have, what we're buying ourselves at a lower price? So let's say they have great talent, right? And that's why you want to acquire this business. Can we hire our way into having great talent as well instead of paying this company to acquire them? Or let's say they have a great book of customers. Let's say they have, 1,000 great customer relationships, and we want to incorporate those customer relationships because when we get those customer relationships, we can sell them other products from our suite of offerings. Well, can we do that ourselves better? Can we establish relationships with those 1,000 customers organically by hiring more salespeople and doing more outreach? So I would have liked to have seen that in addition to these questions added to their questions that they asked themselves before making an acquisition. Although in and of itself, I think it's a good strategy to have this thought process. And of course, you have to consider price. Corporations are notorious for paying too high a price to make an acquisition. Management and CEOs are often a little too hungry to make acquisitions because they attract a bigger business. They now have more revenue. And if the business is bigger, more revenue, that usually leads to more payment or more increasing salary, increasing stock options for the CEO. And so they're obviously interested and incentivized to grow the business, and acquisition is a very fast way to grow the business. It might cost a lot, but it does offer speed. And so that's something that you look at when you're thinking about these situations. So understandably, these recent moves from SoundHound AI has a lot of investors talking about the company, and I hope you can understand why that's the case now. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.